Alright, hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of To the Maxx Outdoors. Today we have Max with us finally. We're here at our little makeshift range here at Grandpa's place. We have the 6.5 Grendel that you watched us build here earlier in the let's say past couple months here. We did a little bit of a budget build on that gun. Max is going to fine tune this gun in. This gun will be shooting, we're going to hunt with a Hornady Black in the 6.5 Grendel. It's a 123 grain ELD match bullet. It shoots really well. I'm going to let Max fine tune this gun in. We also have the 350 Legend with you that I briefly talked about in my 28 gauge video. I have a hand load worked up for that gun, shooting a 170 grain Barnes bullet. It needs tuned in. That also had a new scope mount put on that, so that gun needs tuned in. And then I have my go-to nasty weather gun, which is a Ruger American in a 30-06. I also have a hand load Barnes 168 grain bullet. I have a hand load worked up for it. It just needs shot a couple times just to make sure it's where it needs to be. If you look here behind us, yeah, I think you're in camera. We got a 35-yard target and a 100-yard target. All three of these guns we're looking to be somewhere in that inch low at 35 yards. It'll put us somewhere between on and an inch high at 100 yards, you know, varying on the speeds of these guns, but they're all within that range somewhat. Obviously that 6.5 Grendel is a lot faster, so it's got a little bit different ballistic curve, but generally that's what we do. An inch low at 35 puts us pretty well at 100. We are 100-yard sight in. We've talked about this a bunch of times before. That's about our range, especially here on this piece of property. If you can get a 100-yard shot, it pretty much has to happen right here where you're at right here. The rest of it's all woods and you're not going to get a 100-yard shot. So stick around here for a little bit. We're going to watch Max break these, well, not break them in, we're going to watch Max fine tune them in. I'm not going to be doing much shooting today, so stick around. We'll see what happens. Okay, we're getting ready to start here finally. We have the 350 Legend up first here with us. We got a hand loaded 170 grain Barnes bullet here that beat myself up over loading this gun with. Max is going to shoot this gun here at 35 yards to begin with. We're going to get it dialed in exactly like we want it. We're aiming for about an inch low here at 35 yards. So Max, load her up and do it. It's not loaded. Yeah, it's not loaded. He's going to do a 3-shot group. All right, there's Max's 3-shot group at 35 yards. Max, what'd you think about it? What's it look like in the scope?
Well, it looks low, like it should be. And then maybe one of them's to the left, a square.
So we're an inch to the left,
Yeah.
and an inch low.
Yeah.
We are conserving all the brass here. I've played hell finding this Starline brass that's I gotta have for 350 Legend, so I'm gonna keep it all over. And if anybody else has this problem out of an AR, if you look in here, look at this case mouth here. Does anybody else get that problem right there? I'm getting a flat spot on my, I'm getting a flat spot there on the casing. And everybody says you gotta have Starline brass to reload with, and that's what I've scavenged up. This is all brand new brass too, by the way. One time fired right there. And they're doing that to me. You can see it's, let's see if I can get all three of them up there. Hopefully this comes out well. The one in the middle is the most exaggerated. The one on the left side of my hand over here is not as bad. And then I had one that didn't do it at all. So if somebody had that problem and has worked that out, let me know, or give me your thoughts on it. I'm kind of clueless here as to what's going on. I do have the gun feeding properly. I know 350 Legend and an AR had feeding issues, but tons of micro mesh, and I've polished the feed ramp out. It feeds really good, so I don't know. We're going to go make some adjustments, and we'll come back when we go to 100 yards. All right, we made some just very minute adjustments to the 350 Legend at 35 yards. Our elevation was right where we wanted to be. He did a pretty good 3-shot group. It was probably in that 1.5 to 2 inch group. He had one little flyer, but we'll let it go. We moved that gun to the right just a piece, and then he's going to shoot out here in 100 yards. I can't view my screen, but the 100-yard target is somewhere around in that vicinity right there where my pin is. Max, what are you going to? You're probably going to have to take the
boxes, yeah.
We need to build us a shooting table. I'd say that's coming up in the 2024 winter project on the channel. We'll build us a shooting bench, a proper shooting bench.
Bottom or top target?
I don't care, just pick one.
Right, we'll
Are you up on 9 power there?
No, I'm on 5.
You need to go to 9 power.
I just turned it down too. Alright, you ready?
Yep, here we go. We're going at the 100-yard 3-shot group. What?
That hit you?
No, I was trying to see where it went.
Oh, okay. I thought it hurt it hit you. It hit me.
What?
Shell
Where'd it go?
behind me.
Behind you?
I think so. There you go.
All right, there's the 3-shot group at 100 yards, so we'll not bore you. We'll be back when we get back from this one. All right, Max has got the 350 Legend dialed in. We'll show you the targets here at the end. I'm going to go ahead and run 1, maybe 2 rounds down range here out of this 30-06 at 100 yards. There again, that's a 168 grain barn bullet. Pretty good load in this gun. We're going to see what it's going to do. I'm going to try to run this Ruger American little pouch that they send with these guns. At least they did back in the day when I bought this. I'm going to try it out. I don't know. I've only got 1 magazine for this gun, so we're going to see what happens here. You ready, Max?
Yeah.
Probably better put one in the chamber, huh? Oh, I do. We don't have a very good setup here, I will say that. Not very happy with the setup. I'm going to shoot at the bottom right target. Oh, that's low left. That is no good. Pretty sure I flinched really bad on that shot for some reason. We'll do it again. Yeah, first one was me. I really like this little Ruger American gun. It kicks pretty good for what it is, but man, does it have some accuracy to it for an economy gun that was built for, you know, cheaper price. Holy heck, I've dialed a hand load with the Barnes bullet in with this gun. Holy heck, does this gun shoot really good. Again, we'll bring you back here at the very end. Max is going to get set up. I thought I heard some deer around him. Max is going to get set up, and we're going to shoot the 6.5 Grendel for a 3-5 shot group at 100 yards with, like I said, with some different bullets. So we'll bring you back here when he gets set up. All right, Max has got the 6.5 Grendel ready. We're ready to do a final 100-yard shot with the 6.5 Grendel. Then we'll get to show you all the targets. A 350 Legend, fantastic. That 30-06, fantastic. We're going to be hunting with a Hornady Black, which is a 123 grain ELD match bullet. We talked about when we built this gun. I kind of built this gun to shoot factory ammo with. I don't want to buy the dyes. That's a different powder than I keep. Anybody that reloads know that primers and powder are really hard to find. Now there's a lot of 6.5 bullets out there, the component bullets, but I want to try to shoot a factory load. I'm going to go with a little bit higher end factory load here because this gun here, we do want to shoot some long range with it. We do have a couple capabilities of shooting some long range on our leases. That's the intention this year, is to get 300. We're going to try to get a 300-yard shot at hopefully a bear for Max, but I don't know. Might be a little bit underpowered for a bear. We'll just take it, you know, as we see it. But anyways, that's what we're shooting here. 123 grain Hornady Black with a Hornady HS or a Hornady ELD match bullet in it.
Yep.
Max, it's all yours. Go for 100 yards. Top target.
Yeah.
3-shot group, just like we've been doing, except for the 30-06, which I knew was lined in. Like I said, that 350 Legend, a new scope mount, a new hand load. The 6.5 Grendel, it just got broke in. Max is fine tuning it in, so hopefully this here is what we need. Well, he just put it in there, so we're live. Pretty fast 3-shot group in my opinion, but I'm not the one pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
There again, I can't speak highly enough of Bear Creek uppers, and that is a fully assembled Bear Creek upper. We bought it that way, but there's the cases that are just ejected out of it. They look good, look real good. They're not stretching, they're not getting crimped on the ends, they're not getting flat spotted.
That felt really good, really smooth.
I told you that gun shoots really good. There's no scratches on the cases of them. Primer, I don't know how well you can see that, but the primers are hitting perfect on them. Can't speak highly enough. If you're building an AR, I'm not sponsored by Bear Creek in any way. Local and American company out of North Carolina. I'll continue supporting them, so we'll be back here when we get back. All right, everyone, so we finished up our little bit of a range day here. We're going to try to keep this video short. That's why I didn't show you a whole bunch of us shooting. Max did a fantastic job today. He shot all of the 6.5. He shot all of 350 Legend, and I shot the 30-06 because that's my gun. He doesn't like it, so we'll start off with 350 Legend, which Max is going to grab it right now. What it is it's a Bear Creek Arsenal upper. That's a fully assembled upper. It is a Palmetto State lower. It was a lower I found on sale for 30 bucks. There again, I don't have much more than 500 bucks in that gun also. Sitting on top of that one is a Burris drop time 3 to 9. I figured 3 to 9 was good on that scope or on that caliber. I'm not gonna be shooting 300-400 yards with that gun. That's not what I'm doing. We talked about the new scope mount I put on that. That's a Konus scope mount, K-O-N-U-S. It is a multi-position. It's adjustable for height, and you can get it away from you or bring it closer to you. It's an offset mount. I had a little bit of trouble with that gun getting a good cheek weld and line of sight out of that gun, so I went with an adjustable one. Kind of skeptical about it, but right now I'm really happy with it. I have it all Loctited down. It fits really good. It's machined really well. Now here's our 100-yard target. We ended up taking 7 shots with this one here. We had a little bit of problems with the eye relief. We had problems with eye relief on everything. I put Butler Creek flip covers on there, and I think I messed with the eye relief, so my bad. So that is a staple there. That's not a shot. We ended up taking 7 shots out of there. The last 3 shots that Max got right there is under an inch at 100 yards. And what we're shooting there, like I said, this is a hand load. That is a Barnes XTB. I'll put it in the bottom corner if I'm wrong. It's a 170 grain Barnes hollow point bullet is what that is. Fantastic out of that gun. As you've seen, no failures to feed out of that gun. It performed flawlessly, and I'm super happy with it. And to be honest with you, that's going to be in my hands the first day of gun season this year. Now, moving on, we'll go to the 30-06 real quick. Max has got that 30-06 right there in his hands. There again, that is a Ruger American. That's an economy gun. I take this gun out when the weather is terribly nasty, whether it's snowing a whole bunch or raining real bad. If you see me hunting in Webster County this year, more than likely that's the gun you'll see. I don't really care about wading through brush or beating laurel bushes down with that gun. I really like that gun. We'll talk about the setup on that one. That one's got a Vortex Sonora 4-12 on it. There again, I can find them Vortex Sonora on sale pretty good, and I like them. They're a middle of the road scope. They're not high end and they're not junk. I've had pretty good luck with them. They got good eye relief to me. There again, I did put Butler flip covers on that one, and I messed up the eye relief, so that's something I got to pay attention to, or something maybe somebody else needs to pay attention to. I'm sure I'm not the only one that does that. But as you can see here, my 30-06, that's a 3-shot group. I can't complain about that one at all. You watched me take 2 shots there, and then I took another one because my first one was all on me. There again, that's a staple. That was my first shot. I jerked it. That was operator error. I'll take credit for that one. But my last 3, I'm not changing that. Would I like it to cut the center of that out or be a little bit higher? Yeah, but for shooting whitetails, I'm fine with it. And last but not least, we got Max's favorite gun. That is our 6.5 Grendel. You watched me build that one. I'll try to link that video somewhere here in the corner here of a general build of that gun. It wasn't a breakdown build, but general build. Palmetto State lower, Bear Creek Arsenal upper, Vortex Sonora cantilever offset mount with a Vortex Sonora scope, Vortex cantilever mount, and a Vortex Sonora 4-12. There again, that gun was kind of running all over the place, and I actually threw the other target away like an idiot now that I'm standing here. But Max's last shots cut the center out of the bullet, cut the center out of the bullseye. Max, why did you let me throw that away? It's watered up in the back of my truck. You have to take our word for it. Max did phenomenal on it. Those goes, all 3 of our primary, what I'm going to call our primary guns, are sighted in at 100 yards. I know some people don't go dead on at 100 yards, but it just so happens to work out that this gun here, 2 inches low at 35 yards, was dead on at 100. Works out great for me. 30-06, 1.5 inch low at 35. You seen it put dead on at 100. 350 Legend, now it gets a little crazier. That 350 Legend needs to be 3 inches low at 35 yards to put it dead on at 100. So starting to figure out some of the ballistics here for these hand loads. Like I said, that one's shooting a factory load. The ballistics are on the box, so we kind of knew that one. The 350 Legend and 30-06 are hand loads. Starting to figure those ballistics out without a chronograph. I'm just redneck ballistic figuring this stuff out, and that's what I like to do. It gets Max a lot of time shooting, but when he's shooting, I'm paying attention to where we're hitting at 35, and then I'm paying attention to where it is for 100. And then I know in my mind, if I have to do something to a scope or a in-season repair, I know that I can come back out and get it 35 yards, which I can pretty much do anywhere at the house, up here at any range. I know I can go at 35 yards, put it 1.5 inches, 2 inches, 3 inches, wherever it needs to be, and then I know I'm good at 100. So I'm saving a ton of ammo, and I'm saving myself a ton of time, because normally these repairs happen during season, and you don't want to sit out there and burn a bunch of rounds up. And let's face it, ammo is hard to find. So keep that in mind. If you're shooting a hand load, you probably know that. If you're shooting a factory load, pay attention to that stuff. Pay attention to where you shoot at 35 versus 100. It'll make your sighting in a lot easier, and it gets these kids to, you know, get some the feel for the gun. I had a good time.
Yeah.
Max, you got any final summary here to say for anything other than I threw away your best target?
This one, definitely my favorite because it was my idea to build it. Definitely my favorite. The 30-06 seemed to be the most accurate, and I mean, you can't complain about any of these guns. I mean, it was good today. That's all I can say.
Well, there again, I'm not saying that we won't dial in a hand load for that 6.5 Grendel, because as you can see here, he's taking a real big liking to that gun. I'm sure that gun's going to put some deer down. Hopefully October 20 something, 24, 5, 6, I forget what it is. There's an early doe season here. If I can drag numbnuts here out of the baseball training facility on a Saturday, we're going to do some public land doe hunting. And that's what you're going to see in his hands. And I won't even have a gun with me because I don't need it. But he needs to kill us one right now. We need to make some deer bacon. So I thank you guys for watching this short little time. It's probably more of me talking than shooting, but hey, it's what we do. We're coming into season, starting to get real busy. Him and I got to get some boat time in. I got to get some trout fishing in. I got a really cool trip coming up here really shortly with a good friend. You'll see that video here. A good deer hunt coming up. So all in all, had a good time here. It's a good way to kill a couple hours. We should have brought the shotguns and finished out the evening squirrel hunting, but hey, it is what it is. So thank you for watching To The Maxx Outdoors.